What's up, chat?
I am Bulu. I am one of your commentators.
Yeah, I'm formerly Coach Stu Jackson, the other commentator, a longtime Shawnee Smash player, recently retired Shawnee coach before Dane. So, looking forward to the match with Shawnee and Manchester today. Both teams currently undefeated in the NACE League, playing today for basically the rights to win the region, I believe. The winner of this game pretty much advances into the first seed of the region. Very big game at stakes. Both very, very good teams. Been pretty dominant in their performances the past couple days. I saw where Manchester last week, I think, went through only 2 people. And Shawnee last week, of course, I believe Dustin swept through all 9 stocks. So it should be a really exciting game. A lot of back and forth. I would expect this to go to all 3 games and everyone to get some ample playing time. So it should be a good viewing experience for everyone.
Does this qualify? This is the match.
Yeah, this is for first seed, I think, or
Oh,
like
I see.
the top seed in the region.
Everyone fighting for this tonight, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And looking very forward to it. And last week is any sort of indication for what's to come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got I believe Ben, Tyler, Mark, and Dustin playing today, so it should be a really good lineup.
No
Just
other going in by chance?
no, they also get the opportunity to change, so
Fair enough.
and that would be divulging secrets. You know, Manchester could be watching the stream, could be bad, 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 bad. Yeah,
Can't let them watch. Can't do
no,
that. That's cheating.
no, definitely not. The millisecond you start streaming something, you give up the right to not watching it. It's like, oh man, the stream's typing me. It's like, oh, that's crazy. You could just not go live.
Yeah, just don't do that.
It just, yeah,
Who would have thought?
yeah.
The simplest explanation. Just don't do it.
Yeah. But no, it's going to be a really good game today. I have confidence. We're hoping for the Shawnee win. Obviously, I will hide absolutely no bias. I'm sitting here in the Shawnee esports facility. This is the home game stream. If you wanna, if you want the other perspective, go watch Manchester, I guess.
I will try to be less biased. I would make no promises.
But my last name's actually biased, so this makes sense.
Oh, look at that! They're getting fist bumps in the
Ooh,
background.
get a little breakdown. I can see it. Get the team spirit and really, really get them involved, get them hyped. Uh,
It's a good thing that the fighting game stands.
yeah.
Exciting.
I noticed the first game there's usually a lot of nerves, and this will be a big game, so I anticipate that will kind of filter over. A couple times where I've watched last season when I think they won everything, I watched the finals, and I saw Glover was definitely a little bit nervous going into the first game. Ben looked a little bit nervous going in the first game as well, and so did Mark. But I think by game 2, when I watched that, everyone was mostly settled down. You know, you kind of get into the zone, you get the first game jitters out, the adrenaline gets a little going. It just becomes a lot easier to kind of settle in, get into your flow, and talk yourself out of, you know, pressing a stupid panic button in a situation and really kind of like start thinking rather than just going kind of mind-numbingly brain dead. So I'm interested to see if we'll see any like first game jitters here out of whoever's playing, or even out of everyone on their first couple stocks. You'll be able to tell. I see that. I mean, you'll be able to tell pretty. People play slower when they're unconfident, especially on Wi-Fi. Because you have to figure on Wi-Fi, you're buffering everything a couple frames in advance anyway. So when you're really unsure of yourself, you're not doing a lot of moving. And when you're not doing a lot of moving, your character just looks slow. But the moment everything starts clicking, you get into that flow. Even though you're obviously not moving faster, because your character has a top speed, everything looks to be much quicker. You're getting your confirms. You're not waiting for things to hit. You're just knowing they're going to hit, and you're just going straight into those bread and butter combos, getting those extensions, that kind of thing. So that's definitely something to watch for. Just first game nerves on both sides, and just kind of seeing how people adapt as the game goes along. See how Coach Dane's, you know, his game 2, game 3, as that goes to play. I'll try to give some light on that if I see anything, and just really get into it.
I can only imagine, given that this is for first seed, whoever wins gets first seed, just like a pretty big privilege.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
definitely love to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if the first match looked a little slow, kind of players maybe trying to take a more defensive stance.
Sure.
And not to mention, I'm sure it's no secret that Ultimate has some horrendous online play.
Yeah,
So
it's not good. It's not good.
Nintendo servers are like 20 years old or something like that that they use for these
Yeah,
games.
it's real. They just won't update their netcode. They just have no interest in updating their netcode, which is whatever. If they think they're making enough money not updating their netcode, more power to them.
I will
It's every Nintendo game,
Yeah,
yes.
it's like
It's the
every
same server.
Nintendo game.
Yep.
The only Nintendo game where I've had like a solid online experience is Splatoon.
That's
But I think
interesting.
Splatoon they handle it slightly differently because they'll like take what one player does and the other player, and they'll like try to combine what each of them did. So if on your side you killed the other player, and on their side they killed you, it'll resolve that by just having
Oh,
both of them die.
okay. So you can trade and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So it makes Splatoon feel a little bit better. Obviously, doing that would be a lot harder in Smash.
Sure. Yeah,
Considering
you can't.
how fast the game
Yeah.
tends to be and how like frame perfect a lot of stuff is.
Yes.
Because like that already exists with grab trades.
Yeah.
If you grab the same frame, you'll do the weird break,
Yeah.
like 2% or whatever.
Yeah, and you have the Dragon Ball Z situations too, where you both blast off. And I think the buffer helps out a lot too. I'm not sure if Splatoon had a buffer, but Smash definitely does. And it's like, I'm not a nerd. I don't know the exact frames, but I want to say it's like 5 or 6 frames, maybe 8 frames out. Which you can definitely use your advantage because you can make yourself a lot quicker by just, like I said, being confident, buffering up your moves, buffering up your actions, knowing what you're gonna do. But I mean, you can also buffer dodge when you think you're gonna tech, and then you just die. So there's really not a whole lot of nuance to it. You do or you don't. That's actually something I've been noticing a lot in like actual pro tournament play. Is I'll see a lot of really good players trying to A-land, and they'll just miss the A-land, and they'll throw out like the worst nair you've ever seen. And you're like, what's Zero doing nairing in this weird disadvantage situation? And it just, he was trying to A-land, and the online just kind of, he didn't get the right frames on him. The online, the buffer system just kind of ruined him. It happens at all levels of the game. You'll see the best players do it. You'll see the worst players do it. So it's just something you have to deal with playing online.
Hey, it's our boy.
That's good. I really respect Ben playing with the Joy-Cons. That's something I could never do. Yeah.
There was a tournament that I went to where there was a DVD that was playing with a single joystick.
That's crazy. I don't even know how you input.
And the funny thing is, he got second place. Like, he was not bad by any
What?
means.
How does that fit in your hand? What's a beautiful shot of the Shawnee team. You see Dane over to the left, Dizzy, Dustin, Ben, and Mark. Mark looking very stoic. I'm liking the long hair beard combo. It kind of it gives him a wise look, I think. Here we go, just straight into it. It's gonna be Waywardness versus Villager. An interesting matchup. I've seen Waywardness have problems with Villager before. I'm interested to see how this Villager does. They can be annoying, you know. They're gonna want to try to string up a lot of fairs from a very long distance. It's really hard to edge guard them, and they can scrap a little bit, especially with Zelda, who's not the best scrapper in the entire game. So we'll kind of see what happens. Yes. The elevator coming out soon. Waywardness taking a very nice little lead here, playing pretty patient. Nothing too crazy happened there, just been winning a couple situations in neutral repeatedly and led into a good elevator kill there pretty early. That's probably something that we're going to be looking at. I think Smashville is, it doesn't have the lowest ceiling, but I think it's like right in the middle of ceilings, so elevator probably kills Villager around 70, 80, 90, somewhere like that. Just a little bit more scrappy. Mark playing advantage pretty well. Oh, the Guardian. It is the yeah. I've experienced that myself. You just want to you want to play into it so bad, and then Mark's so good at trapping you into making sure if you jump, he covers that too. Oh, but the bowling ball. That's really. I figured it would just kind of like die down. Oh, the fair. Villager just very narrowly missed the tech lock on that forward air. I think he needed to be a little farther behind. He would have got it. Yes. Is a tradition. On the other hand, you know, you can use those to bait a bad situation from Zelda. Just forcing the end lag on the B is absolutely tremendous. So if you can kind of force a situation where you know it's coming out, get in there, get a grab, start something going. Oh, dare to up smash, not quite doing it. Been still doing a really good job just playing footsies, trying to take advantage of neutral situations. The villager's starting to get some reads on the up Bs, I think. They're not working out as well. And we can see Ben's already kind of adapted. He's not really putting them out in neutral anymore, just trying to play back the Phantom. Nice little whiff punish there on that fair. And I don't know, actually. I think you can. That would be, you could just throw it out whenever. I'm surprised they haven't if you can. But maybe they just missed. Oh, almost got the tech trap. More footsies. See, there it is. The whiff punish on the 4B. Nothing going. Gets back to stage, and that's going to do it. Yep. Oh, no. 152 from the middle. Pockets the side B. Up throw. That'll do it. Very strong. Very strong first stock from Ben. Like I said, nothing really crazy there. I didn't see any like super nutty Ben combos. The elevator on the first stock was really good. Just kind of caught the villager on a nice little whiff of, I think, a fair.
That was a solid way to start off the match.
But nothing crazy. Just a couple neutral situations where Ben kept coming out on top. The villager wasn't really able to kill that well, and just a pretty not a bad game one.
Villager has a hard time killing.
Yes.
The opponent kind of has a solid way to connect.
Yes. Yes. You really gotta get the edge guards going, and it's hard to edge guard Zelda, especially Villager, because you can edge guard diagonally, or I'm sorry, you can recover diagonally with Zelda really well, so you're never really forced to take that super vertical angle where the bowling ball can hit you, and then you're also not recovering horizontally very often, so it's really hard to kind of get those pokes with the fair that the Villager would normally expect to get. Probably not a great matchup for Manchester the first game. Really good job by Ben keeping calm and taking the game. I'm interested who they go out. I've seen a lot of characters from Manchester when I was doing my little review trying to get ready. I saw Game & Watch. I saw a Wii Brawler. I saw a Mario. They apparently have a Terry that's really good. Cloud. Game & Watch I saw one time. So I've seen quite a variety of characters, and I'm wondering how much of that was just them playing kind of off characters because they're winning. How much of that was characters they actually play. I saw them playing Meta Knight in the practice round. I don't know if that was just like a practice round thing. So I'm interested to see what happens.
I think out of all those characters, you don't want to be the best bet because he can use Bucket on side B. You get a fairly solid.
Yes. Bucket being frame 1 is really good. You also have the down throw into Bucket confirm if that ever comes up.
Also, I believe Bucket isn't it a reflector?
Is it?
Okay.
I don't know.
Like if it can't absorb a projectile,
It reflects it?
instead.
Maybe. So I wonder if it would reflect the
I wonder if it reflects
Phantom. Yeah.
which would be absurd.
Game & Watch also pretty good at scrapping. Zelda really doesn't like people that can scrap. If you can get through the Zelda nonsense, you can kind of start timing up the Phantoms and really break in there. Zelda is a nice height to combo, so she's not going to get out of like combos just out of being short. She's kind of wide. She's wider than you would anticipate with her hitbox. And she's just that nice combo weight. She's not so floaty that she's going to escape really early, and she's not so fast volley that she can hold down early either and just kind of ground out and shield. So definitely really comboable. I'm interested to see if they try to send out like Cloud or even Meta Knight. I think Meta Knight would have a pretty simple job doing the little elevator on Zelda. Mario probably not bad. You get the same little elevator system that Meta Knight does, so we'll see. Oh, it's Steve! They did say that Steve too. I don't know a whole lot about Steve. I've seen all the videos of some of those shenanigans, but not a ton. Sure.
Like 80% and kill at 0.
Oh.
Kind of like that, almost. You know, Steve got some stuff.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the tool system is the little upgrade too. The minecart is actually pretty nuts it's rolling around and Steve's not in it. It acts as a command grab, which we saw right there. And Steve also, like, weirdly can't get hit out of it. It's like he'll take the, it's almost like a super armor. He'll take the percent, then he won't get the knockback or anything as long as it's the minecart. It's really weird. He's using the blocks pretty well just to kind of keep Mark's side B, or I'm sorry, Ben's side Bs out while he's prepping his tools and preparing that kind of thing. Trying to catch him with some anvil setups on the shield, and possibly get a shield break, not going yet. It's pretty close so far. He's got a diamond. Yes. Doing a great job so far keeping Ben out. That down throw. Ooh, catches the panic air dodge. We'd love to see it. Not giving any breath to kind of catch any tool building or anything like that. Just going right in the next stock, no fear. Playing. Yes. Oh, for sure, you don't want to catch a straight fair that will just absolutely dominate or anything like that. The phantom setup for the lead trap works. Shoo. That will do it. Yeah, that's something you always have to be mindful when you're playing a Steve, is you never really want a tournament winner. The tournament winner is very easy for them to tech trap with that block. They can actually, I think, if you give them time to set up, they can create a situation where it's actually impossible to get back to the ledge without them getting a chance to hit you at least, even if you roll in. Something to be wary of for sure. You always want to kind of get back to ledge fast, make the Steve guess what you're going to do. But right now, pretty well played. You would love to see Ben catch another stock right here, get a nice 2 stock lead rather than the 1 stock. We'll see. And not gonna do it. Disappointing. It does. Yes. That's the interesting thing about these crew battles, is your percent on the last stock doesn't matter. So normally right there, like, yeah, that's a win for Shawnee because, I mean, you'd be returning back at 114%, you get a chance to take that stock. But since you kind of start from fresh, the winner of a last stock situation like that gets a lot out of it. It's almost like nothing that Ben did at the end of that stock there mattered at all. So they reset back to 4. Shawnee will have a slight lead. The good thing is that Shawnee does have the counter pick advantage right now. The first game in the crew battle is obviously the most important, so a lot of people will send out their best player, if not one of their best players, first to try to get the counter pick advantage. So now they get to pick any character they want into Steve, and we're going to see someone that's either comfortable with the matchup or just thinks they're going to be able to get in and kind of negate all of the Stevery that's going to be happening. Yes, very good character. A very good character online too. All of the shenanigans work online a lot better than they do in other situations, I think, just because even things like the minecart, it's really hard to react to the minecart when you're dealing with 4 or 5 frames of lag. It can just kind of scoop you up before you even have a chance to unshield or jump out of shield or buff or anything like that. So.
Depending what percent you get caught by the minecart at, like, that can be a death sentence.
Oh, easily, yes. Minecart, it certainly is an interesting tool. I remember, I think the week Steve came out, I was playing online a little bit, and I was frustrated to say the least with the stupid minecart.
I think when I started playing online first, everyone would just, like, knock you off ledge and throw right minecart off
Yep,
ledge.
and then just try to, try to get the cheese. It looks like we're gonna... Yes. But yeah, the week 1 was pretty degenerate. Yes. I think that's something interesting about Ultimate too, is you have a lot of characters, but you have not many characters that are fleshed out. Like, I would say the top 5 characters are probably pretty fleshed out. But you have a lot of characters that really, I mean, you haven't seen, there's not a lot of people labbing them. Like, I would say that's the thing about Ultimate being a new game and Ultimate receiving so many patches, is that you didn't really get a lot of lab monsters that, you know, were creating weird situations, were creating really long combo strings, really dialing things in. Just because, I mean, things are getting changed and you just might drop that character for a new character. Now that there's no more patches, I'm interested to see if we'll start to see a lot more development of the current meta. But Shawnee does send in Glover on Cloud, so we can see how this Cloud-Steve matchup works. I would imagine it's pretty good. Cloud's able to keep Steve at bay. Just getting right into it. Yes. Yes. think Cloud is a pretty easy character to combo, unfortunately, especially when he's in the limit. He does get a little bit more floaty in limit, but he also gets heavier. Cloud much heavier in limit. Not going so well at first. I think you got to figure Glover's not warmed up at all just from coming in, so there's probably a little bit of hijinks going on. And then on top of that, just really trying to settle in, get a feel for it. Sometimes you have to get hit by something a few times before you really understand the timing of how to dodge it. And that kind of looks like what's happening as we're seeing a little resurgence here. Probably 50 unanswered percent for Glover. The side B going to get the trap. That too, yes. Doesn't really. Yeah. You have the Zelda elevator out of shield, but that's really slow and you gotta use it sparingly or else someone can just kind of full shield. There it is. That's pretty common to see. You wanna everyone wants to unshield the first couple hits of that real bad and then you just end up getting hit by the rest of it. So unfortunate situation there. Yes. Yes. Let's see if Glover can get this going, wrap this up clean with 3 stocks. That'd be huge for Shawnee here. Playing pretty well right now, playing pretty quick. A lot of whiff punishing here, a lot of moves being thrown out.
Ooh, missing the limit.
The climb hazard goes right through the anvil, but it looks
catches
like
it with the back air.
Yep. Diamond tools for Steve here. We'll see how this affects it. I think the diamond tools are pretty bad low percent because they don't combo as well.
I think he's just trying to close out the stock though. He's got 72%. He's just got to try and get as much percent as he can.
Glover probably looking to clean the stock up. Doesn't need to play fast, doesn't need to play rough. Just he has the advantage. He should know that he has the advantage. He can play as slow as he wants here, take his time, and just make sure he closes out this stock.
The only problem being that Cloud could just sit around and charge limit all he wants.
Yes.
Can be certainly dangerous.
Yes, and then you can just kind of fire it up. That's the interesting thing about.
Takes the stock.
Would love to see Glover here just take this out. We'll see if any edge guard. Ooh, there it is. Air dodge not going to be enough. Picks it up, ready for it. No tech situations. Finds his way back to neutral stage.
These two are both playing extremely well.
I really like how that Steve got back to neutral there, actually. He escaped the situation really well to no panic at all. Just went right back to neutral and reset. But the up smash. Shawnee still with the 1 stock lead, pretty consistently so far.
It's been fairly close this entire time so far.
Now we go back to, that was actually a huge chance for Manchester University there. They could have kind of reset counter pick priority if that Steve would have ended up closing out that stock. But Glover does it. He makes all the way through the comeback. Shawnee maintains counter pick priority. They'll be able to counter pick the last character no matter what happens here now. And they should have a big advantage going into that. I believe that you also, with the NACE roles, you get to pick the stage as well when you're picking your character. And that's big too, because if there is a Meta Knight, you got to figure, if someone's playing Meta Knight, it's going to happen right now. And you got to figure they're going to take the stage with the shortest blast zone possible, just for those elevators, and you're going to get to counter pick not only your character, but you're going to get to go to Battlefield, or you'll see a big stage like Battlefield, Kalos, Unova, something like that.
Yeah,
and that'll help out a little bit for those elevator combos.
Even if knowledge is very powerful in crew battles, kind of knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
So like, yeah, Cloud's only got 1 stock, but then the person after him is going to know what's coming.
Yes.
Whereas the Meta Knight, assuming they pick Meta Knight, wouldn't.
Yes, you get a huge information advantage just by maintaining that 1 stock on that Cloud and going into this next match fresh. And I think Glover knows that. Glover, like I said, playing pretty fast there, played well. Played pretty patiently. The Steve, absolutely not a bad player at all. As you can play really well against a really good player, and they're still going to come out of ahead in some situations. Just pretty good neutral there, though. Well handled by both players, I think. The Steve definitely did their job for the crew, because you figure they reset the last couple stocks of Ben, and then they also took 2 of Glover. So definitely did your job, and sometimes that's all you need. When you go into crew battles, it's not. You don't need 1 guy to do 5 stocks. Your job might not even be take 2 stocks sometimes. Sometimes your job is literally like, hey, we have this guy, you need to take his last stock, and that's like your 3 stocks might be that guy's 1 stock, and you might have done your job perfectly well. It's not always about who's taking the most stocks or in what situations. It's just about knowing your role, playing it, not trying to do too much at times, and just calming down and knowing what you need to do to help your team.
It's a team effort. That is kind of the point of the crew battle.
Yep.
Even still, I feel like Enderman or Steve, whatever you want to call them, is kind of a hard matchup for Cloud, mostly because of all the projectiles and the weird block. It's something that we didn't see. Ooh, it's
Ooh,
Cloud
Cloud,
v
Cloud.
Cloud.
Well,
Oh,
this
this
is
is
really
interesting.
this is exciting. We'll get to see who's the best Cloud.
Yeah, I guess one way to answer Cloud is to play Cloud.
Yeah, who's the best anime swords fighter?
Who can charge their limit faster?
I'll be interested to see if they both just
beautiful
they
taunting.
don't charge limit at all. I love to see it. Both
I was
players
very
feeling
ready
each
for them
other.
to just start charging limit on the
I
platform
was too.
together.
I 100% thought that was what's going on. Oh, I really like that late falling nair. That could have been a grab if Glover was expecting to hit. I didn't think he was going to hit though. Manchester's Cloud playing really well so far, just pretty much winning all the situations in neutral, not having any problems so far. Would love to see a Glover comeback. Surprised that wasn't a climb hazard. Good shield hold by Glover.
Yeah, right.
Limit about to run out. Gonna need to throw it in the next couple seconds probably. Yep, there it is. Really good tech for Manchester. That could have been a really bad situation. Glover was ready for the no tech. Gets back to stage, fine, recovers. Alright, back to neutral in a good spot here. Glover just needs to calm down, win a few situations, try to get an easy kill.
Ooh, is that kill?
Yep, back air sweep gonna do it.
Unfortunately, it does.
Manchester doing a great job recovering back there. They've got the game back to neutral. I mean, Shani gets the counter pick here into Cloud, but the game's completely reset. They've blown it wide open. They can take a couple stocks here. They take 3 stocks. They're completely back in a very, very good position. But they take 2 stocks, and they're still in a bad position at all. 4-3 can be not that much of a lead when you consider you just got 1 stock to win with 3. And if you can just win that one-on-one with that stock, you're right back to reset. So still a very, very close game here.
I feel like Pac-Man would be a very good choice to go into here, because Cloud in general kind of has a hard time with projectiles.
Yes.
Not to mention Hydrant, which would be kind of shoving him around the place and making it kind of harder to work with limit.
Yes. The downside of that is that Pac-Man does very poorly scrapping with sword characters. So you do have the projectiles. If the Cloud is good at navigating the projectiles and kind of getting through the Pac-Man campiness, the sword disjoint is really disadvantaged for Pac-Man just because Pac-Man doesn't have anything that's disjointed at all. The Nair is a really good move on shield, but it takes up no space. The same with Fair and all Pac-Man's other aerials. So I think it will depend a lot on if Manchester's Cloud can navigate the projectiles. Actually, it's Dustin, so we're going to see Roy, so I guess none of that matters.
To be fair, the Cloud was playing very aggressive. He was not letting up at all.
Not giving much time for anyone to think.
So maybe Pac-Man was not a great choice there.
I'm interested to see Roy. I find Roy actually does pretty well against Cloud. Roy, of course, not having the projectiles or the limit, but just a much better, I guess, gap closer, a lot more combos, gets a lot more out of hits. Doesn't recover quite as well, but still has a really good recovery, so long as Cloud doesn't have limit.
He's also just kind of faster. He's a lot more mobile.
And kills much quicker as so long as you get the right part of the sword. So I think this is a really good pick for Shani, honestly. Cloud kind of like the most basic anime swords fighter, I think, where like you do well against characters that still don't like swords, but against a lot of the other sword characters that are just faster than you. Even Ike with a bigger sword, probably even at best, probably at a slight disadvantage depending on how the game goes. But we'll see how well the Cloud uses limit. Limit can certainly change any situation. You get a free out of jail. You get a free get out of jail card if you're off the stage and need it. You get a nice kill opportunity with your side B or some shield pressure. So
absolutely, I'm very excited to see how the aggression plays now, since the Cloud's gonna have to deal with having another sword fighter that is a lot faster than him.
Yes.
You know, he's gonna have to play a little more defensively.
Or you can just keep going ham.
Or you could just try to, fight fire with fire.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I think at this level, defensive play usually is better because someone's going to make a mistake at some point, and if you're playing defensively, you're just kind of waiting on someone to make a mistake. So to play aggressively and do really well, you have to really be on your game. But if you are on your game, I mean, you can just be absolutely dominant. It can look just like just overwhelm them with sheer force. So we'll see if that's what happens, or if Dustin's able to kind of climb back and play patient.
Ooh, starting off with a climb hazard.
Yes. Doesn't get the last hit of the side B, thankfully. Just kind of playing a little bit of neutral here. Ooh, Roy finding the way in for the first time.
Yeah.
That's something you're going to see a lot out of Roy. It's just a lot of times Cloud shielding and Roy's kind of poking at the shield, delaying some attacks, kind of like switching up timings to get that Cloud to drop shield and get an easy combo out of it. Cloud doing a really good job of not falling for it that first time, but you're going to see a lot of situations like that come.
Roy's just kind of looking for, he's kind of throwing some stuff out because he's got the sword. He's got a little bit of a disjoint, you know, even though, you know, Cloud's sword might be bigger, Roy's faster.
Yes.
And ooh, side B almost killed at like 80
Yep.
at the center of the stage. This is
Side B
fantastic.
would 100% have killed at the side of the stage. It's a very, very strong move and comes out really quick. But if you whiff it, you certainly whiff it.
Roy's just kind of throwing out moves, trying to see if something connects. Because if it does, he's definitely, one, falling fast enough to be able to take advantage of it, and two, has moves that are fast enough in frames to take advantage of it.
This is something you have to watch is when Cloud has limit, landing sucks. Because that side B takes up a lot of space and they're going to be looking for you to waste your double jump and try to catch your landing before you can shield or air dodge, because it will pick up an air dodge as well. So you have to be very cognizant when you're landing against Cloud with limit, especially with the side B. Really good offensive option at ledge there to get Roy off. Nothing going out of that jab. At this point as Roy, you're probably thinking about trying to get like a whip punish bear or maybe like throw. I think you're out of like all your little jab shenanigan combos, but Manchester's Cloud is gonna find the first stock with the first hit climb hazard.
It's very close.
Yes.
I can't even argue. Ooh. Very interesting choice going for climb hazard as the limit.
I'm surprised that jab fair didn't kill, honestly. But
Yeah, that's kind of the Roy bread and butter.
there it is. Nair gonna do it.
Perfect. All right, getting out the stock, only 25%.
Roy Nair just feels good. It's one of those moves where you hit it, it just feels meaty. I don't know how to describe it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I absolutely understand. A lot of Roy's kit feels kind of good to land.
Yes, it does. I'm really liking what I'm seeing just with the bread butter, like dash attack, jab, and an aerial. I'd like to see a little bit more extensions, a little bit more aggressive from Dustin here as we go. Just get a little bit more confident in your follow-up, try to hit some tech trap situations. But as of right now, doing a really good job just resetting things back to neutral and taking stage advantage when you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, tries to finish it with a climb hazard, doesn't quite get it. Really good DI there.
It's an interesting choice trying to use the climb. Oh my god, back air.
Yeah, Cloud back air is dangerous. It doesn't come out the quickest, but it's he kind of hides the startup of it a little so you don't notice it. You can sneak it in. Oh!
Ooh, get the spike to finish out the stock.
You certainly don't love to see that. A really dominant game from Cloud.
Can't argue, that was clean. That spike. Oh.
That was, yeah. Yeah, that. I mean, it was kind of a weird game because I never felt like Dustin was not, like he had no chance until the absolute very last moment he was getting spiked. I think it's a situation where both players were playing pretty well. Cloud got 2 or 3 neutral situations right at the end to get the lead, and then you catch sometimes you just catch a good combo the last stock, and that's the end of it. And what would have been probably a really close 1-stock game just turns into a 2-stock that quick. But really good pickup by that Cloud there.
I feel like the Cloud was playing really well against, like, knowing when to shield, knowing when to punish, which is really hard to know against Roy since it feels like his moves come out so fast all the time, like there's no letting up. So the fact that he was able to work around that is very impressive.
Sure.
So I think that's one thing I always have a problem with Roy's is I never know when to shield. Because I feel like when I shield and I drop shield to punish, they've already thrown out a second hitbox, and I'm getting hit anyway.
Yeah, you really stayed cool and shield there. Dustin's shield pressure was very good. He was doing a lot of time mixing up, and the Cloud was just kind of holding strong. He just held shield until he found a gap where he could kind of get out or climb hazard out and get reset back to neutral. It was a good play there. We'll see how the Pac-Man goes. The sad story here is that Shawnee's lost counterpick priority. Manchester, no matter how well Mark does here, will be able to slot the last character in, which they're forced using last character, but they'll get the stage pick as well. So we'll see how this goes. You'd just love to see Mark clean up these 2 stocks without losing one, or with only losing one, really giving himself a chance to go to that last game as ahead as he can be at this point.
I think he needs to maybe try to play with his projectiles a lot more,
Sure.
considering how aggressive this Cloud seems to be.
Yes, that's he's a scrappy Pac-Man. Very good at the hydrant setups, very good, very aware of when his hydrant's going to break, what he needs to do to get his hydrant to break before his opponent. He's very good at playing the hydrant game, but on the other hand, he he likes to go in there a lot of the time when a lot of Pac-Mans probably wouldn't, just because you're just a better character with your fruit in hand and the fire hydrant on the board. So that's something to keep aware of. We'll get to see how patient they are here going to this game. And I think a lot of people try to play the hydrant game too much against Pac-Man. Sometimes you just kind of have to let that hydrant be there and ignore it as hard as it is.
It is certainly a very hard thing to do. So anytime I see hydrant, I'm like, okay, that's going to shove me around. I don't want that on stage.
Gonna get the start out here. Goes for the watermelon.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less.
Oh, no, it's the Galaga. I was wrong. He's very good at the Galaga setups here. We get a nice free 42% from there. It's just it's a quick hitter. Sometimes you can even get a little more than that and go up to 60.
Also,
so far, like patient play. I like what I'm seeing.
I feel like Galaga is very hard to get out of. Just because of the strange angle that it goes in. You know, it goes forward, and then it goes in the loop, and then by that point, he's already on top of you, ready to hit you.
And then if you hold shield, he's just going to grab. He's just going to, by the time that the Galaga gets thrown, the Pac-Man's running forward, ready to grab if needed. Tries for the ledge trap. Very good patience by Cloud there, not getting hit by that bell or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's holding shield. He's really trying to make sure that he doesn't get hit by any of this, knowing that a single hit from a Pac-Man fruit can easily spell the end of the stock.
I like what I'm seeing here. Very patient play, just kind of letting the neutral happen. Playing with the hydrant pretty well, taking situations when he can, not forcing anything, not trying to scrap, letting the limit play out. This is the tech trap situation. That's okay. Grab there from Cloud out of neutral. Another tech trap situation. Oh, cleans it up. The apple will send that fire hydrant straight up. It's real.
Oh, that'll end the stock. I don't think he comes back.
Ready for the stun.
And he took him down with him. He shouldn't have gone down.
A
No.
horrible mistake there for Shawnee. You just hate to see that. We can still recover. Definitely showing the ability just to take control of the situation, and the game still pretty looks solidly in control by Mark here. So, as unfortunate as that was, hopefully we still get out of here with 2 stocks, and we put ourselves in a good situation for that last couple stocks of the round.
Unfortunately, I don't think his percent's high enough to be able to take advantage of the bell.
No, especially when you have to shield the limit beat from Cloud. That's certainly 30-40 frames of just holding a shield that you're trapped into. Getting aggressive with Bell now.
He kind of has to. He needs to clean up the stock before anything else happens. That might.
The forward smash sends at such a good angle. Doesn't get it. Nice.
I think if the Cloud would have just upbeat at the stage, he would have been fine.
It would have been close. It would have been real close, I think.
It would have been close. Absolutely. I'm not sure. I don't know how far his climb hazard goes by default, because I don't play a lot of Cloud.
Without limit, it's a very bad recovery move, but with limit, it's you can pretty much go from the magnifying glass to the bottom back to stage.
Jeez.
It's 2 completely different moves with limit and without it. But that was, I mean, I really liked what I saw there. Yes.
Yeah, Pac-Man was very much holding control of the stage the entire time.
Yes. The only stock that was lost was the suicide climax.
Yeah.
So I really like what I saw. Mark very cool under pressure. It didn't seem to bother him at all that he was on the last 3 stocks of this game. Only game 1, so I mean you still have at least 1 more game to come back anyway. But he didn't seem bothered at all that he was down to his last 3.
Absolutely. This is kind of what I was hoping for with Pac-Man, because the Cloud's been seeming to kind of run around, be super aggressive, trying to like get, back airs, get his nairs, get a bunch of attacks off.
Sure.
But the hydrant and the fear of getting hit with either like Bell or Galaga and then taking like 40% or getting a stock cleaned off kind of forced him to play a bit slower, which made him a little easier to catch in certain situations.
And then you have to remember what angle the hydrant's going to go depending on what move comes out. And it's I said just briefly there, the apple sends the hydrant like, I mean,
Straight up.
Yeah, it's almost directly straight up, and then it will bounce on the ground a couple times without moving a lot. So the app almost creates like an active like wall hitbox from the fire hydrant, and it catches a lot of people by surprise. I think that's something that caught the cloud by surprise there. And then I mean, the other fruits will all send the fire hydrant at their own angle and their own distance. And you have to know like, where is this fair going to send it? Where is this dash attack going to send it? Things like that. It's a lot to try to keep track of when you're already trying to know the habits of the person in the game. And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you're basically playing two different games. You're playing the fire hydrant game, and then you're also playing Smash. So
Fire hydrant game is scary, man. I've tried to play fire hydrant game.
it's not fun, no. Especially if you don't have a reflector. If you have a reflector, it's a little bit more fun because you get to play you're playing baseball with the fire hydrant.
Absolutely.
But without it, it's not a good time. So you got to figure characters like Wolf and Fox. Even off the ledge, you can just hit the tournament winner straight into the shine, and it's a pretty active. Not only is it an active hitbox, it's a pretty active reflector. It's like a frame 2 or 3 off the tournament winner. So you got things like that. But when you're a character without a reflector and you're a character without a counter, getting back from the ledge when there's a fire hydrant and a bell there, it's not an easy task. And you can cover a lot just with a fire hydrant into like a down smash, or even like the fire hydrant into just nair or whatever you anticipate the person to go to. It can create some nasty lead situations.
It really, traps them in a way. It kind of makes them forced to do either like a jump or maybe a roll, because if they just neutral get up, I think it'll just shove them back off of ledge, and then they'll have to do it all over again. Or if they tried, even if they roll, the fire hydrant's gonna shove them more than likely, because it's gonna blow the water out. And if you jump, that's usually what he likes to cover. Is he'll go and he'll nair over the hydrant, which will again knock you straight back off. So it's a very hard thing to get around, and I feel like your best bet will usually be to roll, because then maybe you can at least get back onto stage.
Yeah.
Maybe try to run past.
And then sometimes you gotta just, the roll might be anticipated. You might see a down smash, you might see a forward smash, you might even see like just like a fadeaway nair to just cover that roll, and then you can see a nasty potential check chase situation off the back hit of the nair. It sends people at a real low angle towards the ground, so then they're either teching or you have a chance to miss tech, or you can maybe even follow it up with like a real low to the ground bear or something like that. It's a real tough situation to be in, especially for Cloud, whose ledge options really aren't the best.
Yeah, right.
But a dominating performance from Mark, I would love to see that again. I'm interested to see what we're going to see here from Manchester, and it's going to be the Terry.
Terry, Lilat.
I've heard the Terry is, if not their best player, one of their best players, and we also see Lilat, which is unfortunate because I know 100% there's not a single stage that Mark hates more than Lilat. So much of this stage just sucks. I mean, there's weird angles for the fire hydrant that it's going to bounce off that you don't anticipate with Pac-Man.
Very clean combos from the Terry already.
Yes. That's something that you have to expect seeing a Terry. Is the bread and butters are usually going to be there for a good Terry, and every time you get hit, especially off zero, you're probably going to be taking 40 or more. Oh, we don't quite get what we wanted. Both times, I think those are both supposed to be like buffer jump nairs, and I think they both didn't get the jump input. Oh, I love the read on the spot dodge. Doesn't quite get the up smash, that's okay. A lot of scrapping here from Mark. Not a lot of fire hydrant play or anything yet. The Terry really not giving him the time that he needs to use the fire hydrant effectively.
It's really hard to. Terry very much wants to get in and do, a lot of his combos. Ooh,
And that's gonna do it.
Buster Wolf to clean out the stock. That's one thing about, I play Terry a lot. Terry is definitely the one that I play the most, and having go meter is dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Considering that either one will do 30 to 40%, depending
Yes.
on if you've staled it or not, and can very easily clean out a stock at 70.
Let's see. Just the bread and butter starter combo from Terry going to lead to about 35 there. Unleashes a shield too early. Good situation for Mark. Not quite getting it. Off the other way. Gets the apple. Chooses to do the fire hydrant shenanigans rather than edge guard. We'll see if it pays off. Got the key. Nothing going. Terry working their way back into
Ooh.
advantage really well there, just kind of taking stage control while Mark was doing the charge up shenanigans. That back throw's going to go.
Oh, that's gonna be nice. Get that go away from him. He doesn't need it.
This Terry playing really well, not playing quickly at all, doesn't look panicked, playing very safely. They know they have the advantage for the time being, and they don't need to get this stock pressingly. But Mark doing a really good job adapting here and coming back a little bit.
The Terry's really focusing on the hydrant too much, I've noticed. He always goes after it if he's near it.
Don't play the hydrant game.
Yeah, don't play the hydrant game. That's bad.
Apple, nothing going. I'm surprised that kind of fire hydrant.
Ah, there's the bread
real
and
close. I
butter.
thought that might have been it.
Jab, jab, power dunk. That was the first Terry combo I ever learned.
I love the apricot.
Oh,
let's go!
That
Let's
was
go, Mark!
clean. We're coming down to a last stop game. Looking really good so far.
I like what I see. Don't need to
Yeah,
get everything
he's
right now.
getting
Just
the
settle
fruit
in.
combos.
Get some neutral wins right here.
If he can maybe throw out a few more hydrants to maybe distract the Terry, because he still hasn't learned to not play the fire hydrant game. He very well might be able to clean up the stock.
That's something a lot of people don't realize about Pac-Man 2 is the dash attack, it's not whiff punishable at all. You can just go straight to Nair or really any defensive option, and it's almost impossible to whiff punish. The fire hydrant not going, the bell.
Depends if
Terry
the Terry
does have go meter.
Yeah.
Anything, one hit could take it from either side here.
Oh,
The fire hydrant shield pokes!
If he can edge guard this.
The fire hydrant
Fire
again.
hydrant.
The apricot! Yes,
Oh,
the apricot! Let's
game!
go! Let's go, Mark! Let's go!
That was
Let's
a reverse
go!
restock by our very own Pac-Man.
Yes!
That was the closest game that we've seen all night. That was
Oh my
impressive on
God.
both sides. Everyone is excited.
Oh.
One man's on the floor.
Oh,
I was tense that whole
my
game.
God. That man's got some McDonald's Sprite in his veins. That was crispy. Let's go! Let's go!
Oh my God.
Shoo! Cool as a cucumber. He didn't give up a single inch on that lap stock. He got exactly what he needed. Never pressed the situation too much. And the panic on the Terry was just clear. It was
He
clear.
had
He
that
was
Terry's
spamming too many
number by the end.
buttons.
Terry was
Yes.
too obsessed with the hydrant. He was doing too much approaching. You don't approach Pac-Man. That's your
No.
first mistake.
Oh my goodness.
He kept getting hit by hydrant as if Pac-Man's not going to throw that down as soon as you go below him.
And I mean, you absolutely cannot ask for a better game one than that.
That was very good.
Oh, let's go. What a game one. Reverse three stock coming out there from Atlas. Just beautiful.
That was very strong.
We're going to take a quick break here. Oh, no, we're going to do an interview is what we're going to do. So let's
Yeah, we're going to take a break,
yeah.
then we'll come back with interviews.
Yes,
Don't go too far.
Alrighty, we are back, and I have Coach Dane here to interview. Um, Everyone's calmed down just a little bit here because we kind of forced them to. But, I mean, obviously, as a coach, you want to win the most you can, but that's pretty much all you can expect out of a game one. It was super exciting. You saw Mark just keep super cool under pressure there. But what was the decision to go Cloud there rather than like a Cloud Pac-Man or something like that?
Well, they picked Cloud,
Oh,
and
they did.
so I mean, which I was surprised because like my motto is never bet it on a mirror.
Sure.
Like I never want the mirror
Yeah, you never
ever
want the
because
ditto.
anything can happen in there. But it worked out for them, so
Yes.
I guess kudos. It easily could have not have like that could have just gone the other way.
Yeah.
It was
And
just
then-
a couple of exchanges, but
And then we went into Dustin and Roy, which I anticipated. Roy usually a pretty good matchup for Cloud. And that game, I mean, I think it was closer than the stock count would have said.
Yeah.
You get gimped one time when you're at 0, and I mean, it makes it look a lot less clear, but it seemed like the Pac-Man worked really well with Cloud, so I mean, is that something that we're thinking about for next game, or what's our
Yeah.
plans?
well, actually, Cloud could beat Pac-Man in
Yeah,
theory,
sure.
but we have that experience with a Cloud, and they don't have
Yeah,
the Pac-Man
yeah.
experience. And
Yes.
Pac-Man, one of those characters that you absolutely need.
You need to, yeah. The Cloud is playing a lot of Hydrant games. Obviously, Ben, the general lead off does exactly what he needs to. Gets 5 stops, really gets you that counter pick priority, pushes you ahead.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking for next game? Are you changing? Are you looking to change plans at all? Or are we switching gears at all? Are we kind of doing second verse same as the first? What are we doing?
Ben's always been such a solid starter for our entire career. Like his entire career, he's been our
Totally,
go-to starter.
yeah.
Even when you were the coach
Yes.
last year, Ben was our go-to starter. Zelda's just such a strong online
Yes.
character that he almost always gets the first one, and we get the counter pick advantage. That being said, I'm sure other teams will catch on. We
Yes,
stream all these,
sure.
and I've just said it here. That's our go-to strategy. So we could change it up. Roy would also make a solid starter. Joker would also make a solid starter. We have a Joker waiting
Yes.
in the wings on Desmond, who didn't get a chance to play today.
Fresh.
But we could change it up. But I mean, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly. And then what about Steve? I mean,
I hate Steve. Everybody, the world hates Steve. But it's part of the game. You got to learn it.
Yeah.
And he's a trapper, likes Pac-Man. So everybody
Yes.
has an idea of what they want to do against Steve. But it's just so
it's hard.
hard.
You have to be
It's
patient, and
but not too patient. Can't be too
yeah,
patient.
You can't let him just sit there, but at the same time, you can't just rush and fall into all the stupid carts and the stupid traps.
Yeah.
It's definitely a challenge, and not even that, it's exhausting. Like,
Yes. Mentally.
playing correctly against a character like Pac-Man or Steve is
Mhm.
just it takes a mental toll on your players, and that's something you have to plan for as a coach too, because we've certainly had some players in the past that you don't want to put them in a situation where they're going to have like a mentally taxing
Yeah.
game. Like
Yeah.
you need to get them ahead.
I think if I did make a questionable decision today, it would have been letting Tyler go in against the Steve because
Sure.
I mean he volunteered and nobody else wanted to, and it was like fair. Nobody else really knows how to deal with the Steve online.
Yeah.
But I generally I don't want to. I'd like want to save Tyler not for cheese matchups because
Sure.
I want him to. He's a very good player. So I want him to have the most honest matchup that he can have because I'm
Yeah.
confident that he will win as long
That's
as
fair.
it's honest. But he can't get cheese. But that's what we had. He got the stocks and so he did his job. He did when he did clean up the Steve. One more from the Cloud. So it worked out. But
So this secures first seed
Yes.
in the
Well,
region, correct?
not technically. I do think we beat Ashland. We beat Manchester, and I do
Okay.
think they were the teams to beat.
Okay.
So as long as we stay strong, we don't flub anything.
doing-
I think we
We'll
can
be
do
the
it.
first seed. Well, I think we put ourselves in a really good position today. We got to see just the mental game from Mark there. At
It
the
was
end was just
Mark played so
insane.
good. Don't let him see this interview. He played amazing. Oh my God, I was so impressed.
Just absolutely kept cool as a cucumber. That's not something that you can teach. This fantastic mentality out of there from Mark, and I think just a really good job overall.
Yeah.
So I think unless we have anything else, we are about to wrap it up here. This has been the lovely voice of Two Jags serenading everyone in chat, and this has been Shawnee with the huge win over Manchester.
Big one. All right, thanks everybody for watching.